and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to you. You're watching another episode of Encounter. We have a new guest for the program today. We have Manjusha Coonjan, who is a doctor. She's also a meditation and yoga therapist. Manjusha, very warm welcome to you in the studio of the MDC, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Roshan, for the invitation.
Manjusha, you're a doctor, you're a generalist, and unlike most doctors around in the world and in Mauritius, you did not pursue a specialist course after being a general doctor. So you went into yoga and meditation. Can you tell us how did this come about and what was the motivation behind?
It was during my medical studies, and I was very curious to know what meditation and enlightenment was all about. And I continued into internship, becoming a registered medical officer in the Ministry of Health. And at some point, I became a patient. I was suffering from an ovarian cyst, which needed surgery to be removed. And I somehow convinced my doctor that I don't want surgery because I think that our body knows how to heal itself. And I tried, of course, I followed the treatments, the conventional treatments, whatever my doctor prescribed, but I knew that if I don't take care of it with a very disciplined approach, it won't happen. So it took me around 1.5 years doing more work on myself, being in more awareness through yoga and meditation.
Did you also have to change your diet, exercise, yoga diet? So please tell us the changes that you went through. You healed yourself after 1.5 years?
I didn't need surgery, no.
You did not need surgery. So you used conventional methods along with good exercise, good diet, yoga, meditation, and it was gone?
Yes. So the basic problem was hormonal disbalance, which was happening because of the disturbed sleep, eating, disturbed life. Usually we have a structured, as a human being, we have a structured way of living, a regular time to wake up, to eat. These are very well monitored by our body. But if this is disturbed, the whole system is disturbed. So I knew that I had to get this system balanced, even though I was still working as a doctor and doing night duty and being stressed. So I tried my best to be more in the present and not get into negative thoughts or any kind of emotional turmoil, because whenever you're stressed, you're more irritable and things just blast. So getting my energy into myself and also trying to have as much sleep I could recuperate after the night duty. Eating well, I was already doing it. Of course, maybe some French pastries now and then, but not soft drinks, etc.
Probably less sugar.
Less sugar, but that was not a problem at that time. I was already having quite a balanced diet.
Okay. So that probably helped you already at the start.
Yes, it did.
But that requires a lot of discipline. How did you find the power to stay true to your motivation to be disciplined?
It was just the willpower. It's like I have to give my body the space to heal itself. And to do that, I have to be able to bring it to a point where it is not disturbed, the least disturbed. So understanding this concept is very important at every point of our life, and because we take drastic measures on the stress. And getting that balanced and everything else is like coming back to Mauritius after studies, going back to your parents' house, having other kinds of limits and still not being suppressed. All these play a big role in our health. Where we live, with which kind of person we live, what kind of routine is around us, and what we want to do, and we are not being able to achieve this. So everything is interconnected. So I managed to do it, and I was still working as a medical health officer. And at one point, maybe in 2012 it was, when I asked myself, okay, do you want to still go on like this? You're having quite a stable life now.
Was it before or after you healed yourself? Or was it during?
Much after.
Much after, okay.
Yes.
So you continued working as a generalist after you healed yourself?
Because this is what I was trained to do.
Yes.
And I like doing it. But of course, I could not touch people the way I wanted to, because I wanted to know them better and really make a difference in their life, not just prescribe medicine and let them go. That was a bit of a loose end for me. And to really understand the person and guide the person is something very different, and that was not the appropriate environment. And of course, what my life purpose is, that was the big question. It's like, was I born to be a doctor? Should I do it till I die? Will this be my fulfillment as a human being?
So you asked yourself, what's your mission statement in life? But that's the question that everybody asks at the end of the day, and most people don't even find an answer to this question. How did you get about hopefully getting an answer to it? Because at some point, the answer changes and evolves as time goes by.
Yes.
Or does it stay true?
It changed because every time I was asking myself, there was something else to do in the same medical field. But at one point, it's like, okay, there is nothing much now. I understand how much the medicine can give to people. And anyway, am I fulfilled? That was the biggest question. Because if we are not fulfilled, we won't be happy. And if you're not having a happy life, it's not worth it.
I'll venture saying something. You can correct me if I'm wrong. You've studied medicine. Would it be right or wrong to say that at some point you did realize that people face many problems, be it mentally or physically, but medicine gives the solution, just a short-term solution. It does not tackle the problem at the root level. And hence why you turned towards yoga and meditation, because it becomes a way of living where you're more in charge, and whenever there's a problem, you're able to tackle it at the root.
And for that, we need to be sensitive.
To
Be sensitive to ourselves, to know that something is wrong. Usually what happens, we don't know what is wrong. We go to the doctor and the doctor tells us what is wrong with us.
Yes.
Which is very strange, isn't it?
My yoga teacher always tells me, always listen to your body. And you can hear your body more the more you listen to it, because there is so much noise. But it's like a muscle. The more you practice it, the more you listen to your body, the more you'll be able to hear what your body is telling you. And that joins a bit what you're trying to say,
For
I guess.
example, eating in excess. If you are practicing yoga, meditation, or any kind of technique which brings your sensitivity to yourself, if you do it once, it's a lot. Just eating too much once, it's a lot for the body. And you feel the heaviness, you feel how it's blocking your breath. And the breath is what we need for the balance in prana and all the rest.
Prana, which is energy.
Yes. So once we get there, we don't want to repeat it. Though it may happen once in a while, but we know that even this is not good. But there are people who eat too much every day, and they don't feel it. Yeah, every meal.
I've read somewhere that people tend to eat twice what they're supposed to eat every day. So their intake of food is, they could
twice the amount.
Twice the amount. So even for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. All right, breakfast normally is slightly heavier because this is what you use for during the day. But as you go on for lunch and for dinner, it gets less. People could easily eat half of what they eat for every meal.
Yes. Now in the world, there is a surplus of food, and yet people are dying.
Yes.
It's like at least 40% is being wasted of good food. And how much do we need? I think that is the biggest question we should ask. What are our needs? And what are our desires? And what are we doing to get what? It's like, are we satisfying our needs, which is the basic need for our body and to stay healthy? Or are we going into desires? For example, 1 liter of soft drinks per day is quite normal for so many people. Yes.
That's a lot of sugar.
Too much of sugar and chemicals.
Yes.
And eating sweet stuffs and pastries, candy.
Rather have the sweets in fruits. Natural sweetness.
Natural and dry fruits.
And dry fruits, of course.
And once in a while, of course, you can have it. Because when you will develop the sensitivity, you won't need that much.
Exactly.
Because we need to satisfy a little bit of our desire to get something, but not go into excess. The excess is causing all this disturbance.
Non-excessiveness and moderation. Let's talk about the yoga and meditation aspect of your life. When you found your mission statement, you knew that this is something you want to pursue.
You know, it's just jumping out of the system. And I just jumped out and I went to India because that is where I usually go just to recharge myself. And I found that yoga is taking a big, everybody's learning yoga, it is becoming a faction.
There has been a shift in the mindset
Yes.
over the past few years, definitely.
So, and then I thought, okay, I had my healing. Maybe I can help people through yoga. I did the 200-hour teacher training course by Yoga Alliance. And then I got to know that there is another course of this postgraduate diploma in yoga therapy. So I just followed. I'm happy I went into yoga because that is the link between the physical and the deeper levels, where however deep you can go. This is the link.
Well, the physical aspect of it is just the beginning, it's just the root level. The state of achieving the yogi state of mind is the objective, I'm guessing.
Yeah, even that I ask myself so many questions. What is it about enlightenment and how do we get there? And we have so many stories of yogis, etc. But my scientific mind cannot accept many things. I have to experience whatever I read, and of course you can't experience everything. So it changed so many things in my life that I can't see myself the way I was like 5 years ago. It's like I'm a completely different person, and I can't even tell you what's the difference. I just forgot. So I know for sure I'm happy and comfortable, and I adapt to situations, and I can be grounded. I don't go into excessive emotions, but of course I sometimes, very rarely, I need to get my foot down, and anger, I need to use anger to show people, no, this is not the right thing to do.
Yes.
But most of the time I am very peaceful and in harmony with myself. So I've achieved much, much more than I've expected out of this journey.
Do you see yourself as a role model for people around you? Because you teach many people in Mauritius.
I see myself more as a guide than a role model, because everyone has his or her own purpose. So I can't be an example. I can be just an indication of how you can find yourself, maybe.
Your truth is not the truth for everyone, even if they do the same things like you. That probably makes sense. So you meet a lot of people, you guide, I will not say teach, you teach but also guide many people. Is there a specific problem that people come up with you more often?
Nowadays it's stress. Everybody is so stressed. And in fact, we can't blame the people for trying to adapt to this way of life. The way we are living is just not.
It's very superficial. It's
it's
just the survival level.
I'm just thinking of going into the traffic jam every day. That is a lot of stress. And we think that it is normal, it is completely normal to be stressed to go to your work.
No, but I'm pretty sure most people don't enjoy the traffic jam going to work.
But can you imagine doing it every day throughout your life? Some people do the same job for 40 years.
That's a lot of, that's many hours spent in traffic.
In traffic, but for me, it is just inconceivable for me to.
So what is the solution then?
To find your own way.
But they have to work, no?
Yeah, they have to work.
You have to earn a livelihood so that you can feed your family also. So there are many levels of truth to that also.
It's how much can you adapt to this present system, or get out of the system and make your own system.
Oh, wow.
Because now, all over the world, you can see people getting out of the system and going into eco-villages.
Or going for retreats.
Gardening, and but living in this way now. Minimalist, zero waste, close to the nature. It is a trend, but it becomes the way of life.
Surely. Well, I think the stress factor has led to a shift in mindset for people to move towards yoga and meditation. but also, as you just said, a minimalist life, zero waste, because at some point this helps people to be closer to nature and also to connect better to Mother Earth and be more grounded, as you just said. Somehow or the other, these factors contribute to the happiness of people.
Yes, because now we even have a research on grounding yourself to earth. Some people they've installed a wire from your bed to the ground, and this gives you better sleep. For example, for babies, they sleep better, less colic, etc. So there are really scientific facts that show you that this is good for our health. But yeah, because of modernity, technology, and over cleanliness, like getting too much into being too clean also, that is also
that is also wrongly affecting the immune system of the
so
young
no
generation.
contact with germs, natural germs around, and the immune system becomes weaker.
Oversimplification of life, trying to make it too easy also, is taking us away from what is real. Would you agree to this?
Yeah, from our health.
Yes.
Yes. For example, even a chair is a luxury.
So we should sit down?
Yes.
In the lotus posture?
Not necessarily. In any posture, but down. Because coming down, you use so many more muscles, and your hip joints, they become more loose and more flexible. And going up, again, you're using your whole body. And your core muscles become stronger when you're holding your back. So we are really
so basically sitting up and down like 10 times a day would be 10 times more exercise every day. What do you tell people who are stressed and they come to you? What do you tell them to do? What's the first thing?
There are so many techniques in yoga we can use.
If you had a list, what would be the number one on your list?
Sleeping well.
How many hours?
Now it's 7 to 8 hours. But some people sleep less and they feel good.
But it also depends on the quality of the sleep.
Yes. But nowadays, this is the last research studies that we should sleep around 7 to 8 hours. It's better than sleeping less than 7 or 6 hours.
Okay.
Sleeping well, when you wake up, you'll be in a better mood. And that will change your day.
So you make sure that you sleep at least 7 hours a day?
Yes.
And is there a better time to sleep?
Yes, it's good to sleep at 10 o'clock.
And wake up at 6?
As early as you can. Yeah,
as early
6,
as you
even
can.
At 5 if you want. But
so 10 to 5 is 7 hours?
7 hours or to 6, 8 hours.
Okay.
This is the best time. See, in Ayurveda you have 3 different types of categories. So to understand the whole Ayurvedic concept, it reflects in everything, in what we eat, how we are working, what we are doing, how much activity, sleeping. So everything is related. So maybe I can go very fast on these 3 aspects, which are the basic principle of Ayurveda. So you have the Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. The Vata is that category of things or qualities, you can say, which is sharp, pointed, light, mobile. So these are the categories. You have to understand that we are trying to categorize everything in nature. Whereas Pitta is hot and fast and sometimes too organized, too strict in structure. And Kapha is more cool, sometimes too cool and lazy, and cold. So these are approximately how we can categorize whatever. You can categorize the chair, people, animals, the time, everything. From 10 to 6, it's the best time to sleep. But yogis sleep even earlier because they rise as early as possible, because you have from 4 to 6 a.m. the Vatic period where you have to study, you can meditate better, etc. So they get up earlier and do their practice earlier. The 4 basic things that everybody should do. It's like sleeping well, eating well, having physical activity, and relaxation. These are the 4 things that everybody should do to create the foundation for a good health. And now how we can do each of these depends on you, how you can eat well. Some people can eat after every 4 hours, they feel hungry, they want to eat, so it is fine. Some people can eat after 6 hours. So you have to know yourself, discover your own body, what it needs when.
I'm hungry after every 2 hours.
So you're having a hyperactive mind maybe.
And body.
Using,
Always have a lot of energy, yes.
If you're using energy more, you need more energy intake.
So good sleep, good intake of food. Do you recommend a vegetarian diet?
No.
No?
It depends on the person.
It depends on the person.
Because, for example, for a person who has been non-veg, to change into vegetarian is not just changing the food, but lifestyle.
Of course.
And looking for the right nutrient to supplement everything, it can become hectic and can add to his stress. So better stay as you are and try to find a balance. If you feel that, okay, you want to eat lighter, you want to change to vegetarian, you can. But not go too much into non-veg. That is also bad because the meat, what we eat, if we eat too much, or anything that we eat too much, will create toxins in our body. And that would be an overload for our body to purify and be in balance.
Another aspect would be exercise, I guess, and that joins a bit in terms of the physical yoga also, which you recommend,
yes.
You strongly recommend also.
If someone just wants to do exercise and sweat, better do some cardio. So run, jogging, cycling, swimming, anything that is repetitive, I would recommend. Because in yoga, doing postures fast may not be so good because you are overstretching your ligaments and you have to make sure you're in the right alignment. And every time you are misaligned, you are creating micro trauma to your tendons and ligaments. And there are so many yoga teachers now going for hip surgery, knee surgery, because there have been an excess of activity.
Listen to your body.
Exactly.
Listen to your body.
So if you want to sweat, I would not recommend yoga. Yoga will help you lose weight, yes, but not necessarily by sweating, but by helping you regain your balance, your natural balance. So
you do lose weight, you do burn fat when you breathe also, right?
if, for example, you practice breathing techniques, you will feel peaceful. You won't be looking for something to give you peace and joy. So I won't be looking for that cake, the chocolate cake, to give me that peace. I feel good and complete as I am. There is no excess in eating.
Of course.
So this is how yoga helps. It's not about burning calories. It's about re-establishing the normal rhythm.
And in fact, yoga is a good way to complement other physical activities that you do.
Yes. If you look at the physical way, completely physical, it's like stretching your muscles and doing slow postures. When you do a posture slow, it engages each muscle fiber. So it's like almost 100% of that muscle is getting engaged.
Yes.
But when you're going to the gym and doing reps, that is not achieved.
Muscle,
it's like, even if it's specific, not all the muscle fibers in that muscle is being engaged. So if you want like total functioning of each muscle, then doing the postures the traditional way is the best. And of course, this will help you physically. But the most important thing is that even yoga teachers didn't think that yoga would be such a complete physical activity, because most of us thought, including me, that okay, once in a while you can just run or do something else, not necessarily yoga every day. But the last research studies that came out shows that yoga is enough. You don't need to do anything else.
Yes, it is enough.
So it is, if you do your yoga practice every day, that's it. You don't need to go to the gym, jog or swing. It gives you everything completely.
It gives you everything that you require
physically,
in your body. So ladies and gentlemen, for those of you watching, if you're not practicing any physical activities, try to practice some yoga every day. It will definitely be for the best, and you will feel in the right frame of mind. Manjusha, thank you very much for being with us for this episode of Encounter. We have now come to the end of it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention. We'll catch you again next week, same time, same channel.